Alright, hello, and welcome to another Devstream breakdown. So, today we got some very, very good news. Not 100,000,000% happy with 100% of it. I'm about like 80-90% happy with all the stuff we heard about today, though. So, let's just jump right into it. So, first, obviously we'll just start out on a low note. War Within is possibly not this month, so, you know. They're going to try and get it out this month. Hopefully it happens. It's the thing we're all waiting for. I just want it to be out. Like, obviously, I want it to be good and functional, but, man, it's really burning for a new cinematic quest, if I'm going to be completely honest. But, yeah, anyway, on to things that are game-changing in, like, a wide scope of things. Universal fucking vacuum is happening. It's kind of happening. A little bit of it is happening. There is a little tiny thing here that's not so good, but let's talk about what's happening. They're removing vacuum from carrier. All right, perfect. This step one, fantastic. Giving carrier like an ammo mutation ability, cool. That's a reasonable one. I've seen that suggested. Awesome. You can carry more ammo while you're using him. Awesome, fantastic. That seems like a perfectly acceptable ability for carrier to have. He'll still see some use almost assuredly, and he'll be around still. He will still be useful, but he's not going to be the thing. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Awesome. But now let's move on a little further here, which is smashing vacuum into 3 different parts. And as far as I could tell, the 3 different parts are going to be like different kinds of vacuum. I don't know what the fuck that entails, but not fucking that up is very, very important. So hopefully they're just like variations. Maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe this vacuum gives you like a bonus amount of credits, or you know, some like weird shit like that. Like this vacuum is super rare and it gives you like a bonus amount of endo whenever you pick endo up with it. Little tiny things that would be acceptable, like little buffs on vacuum, I guess, like little tiny just things you could choose from to make things a little more like customizable in like a small way. Sure, I'm into that kind of thing, but like it being like this is like 3 different things you need to put on every single sentinel you have would be really shitty. But I hope it's just little like tweaks on it. That'd be kind of cool. I'm into that. Now here's the thing. Here's where we start getting into the part where it's like, wait, well, hold on, wait, we went off the rails. Hold on, excuse me, 1 sec. Come back, please. Let's talk about this one more time. Equipable on any sentinel. Now, wait a minute. Now, wait. We have Kavats and Kubros. Those aren't sentinels. I hope they meant companion. That these would work like Animal Instinct. I can only hope they meant companions. It's pretty vital that they meant companions, because otherwise this only half solves the problem. And really a third if you're considering Kubros and Kavats to be like 2 different like factions of thing. It being usable on all sentinels is an improvement, but we're not there yet. If they meant companion but they said sentinel, then this is totally fine. This is a totally acceptable way to do it. We took vacuum off of carrier, but we still want to incentivize you to have a companion on a mission, so you can put vacuum in any companion you want. That is like, okay, yeah, awesome. You want to incentivize me to have a companion so that I can have vacuum. I totally can understand that point of view, because it's like, companions are important to the game. It's a good reason to always have one with you. Totally reasonable. And it also gives them a way for you to not have vacuum should there be like a gameplay reason where they would not want you to have it. They could just kill your sentinel or kill your companion. That would be a way to do it, or just like remove them. There's a couple like things that opens up in a tiny small way that I don't think is really important, but is still there. I really hope they meant companion. I really do, because I like my dogs and I like my cats, and if it's only equipable on any sentinel, then my cats and dogs are still never going to come out of the kennel. Like, that's just how it's going to be, basically. Which is really unfortunate, because I really like my cats and dogs. They're adorable. Anyway, let's move on. I hope that's, like, please, continue. Also, I want to say thank you to everybody who's talking about this and being like, hey, let's post this on the Reddit, the forums, the everywhere, the tweeted at the devs. Like, getting a universal vacuum, it's very important, because it's a quality of life improvement for the game at large in a big way. But yeah, keep being vocal about it. Be vocal about it being on companions, not sentinels. Look for clarification on that. I know I'm going to be. But if we can get that on all companions, I think that that is a huge step forward for the game. Obviously, it's taken a long time, but I'll be very happy with it, because I can finally have an excuse to use my dogs, because they're dumb and clumsy, but I love them. Yeah. Anyway, moving on, there's going to be a new system. They said this is going to be added. I think they said post-War Within. It's going to be VIP Assassination. So, they basically just came out and said it. This is going to be the Shadow of Mordor Nemesis system, like just pretty much just straight ripped out and thrown into Warframe, which, if you've played Shadow of Mordor, that system is really great, and that game was way better for including that system, so seeing it in Warframe is honestly just a good thing. Like, it's like a copy, but it's a copy in the best way that you would want it to be, in that they're just adding a good system and applying it to Warframe. I think that's going to be really awesome. It's a new way to gain standing. Enemies are going to be tailored to your level. I don't know if that means they're going to scale with you or gain resistances based on what you're trying to use to kill them. There's some interesting ways they could go about doing that. Them having like certain perks like you would in the Shadow of Mordor Nemesis system, like, oh, they're immune to ranged attacks and like X, Y, and another thing. That stuff would all be really cool. I am really actually very excited to see that, because that game fucking it's like one of the single best games of last year. What a fucking phenomenal game. If you're on PC, that game goes on sale for pretty low. Pick that up if you're into that. If you see that game at like a price that you would pay for a good game, fucking pick that up. It's a really solid game that really does a lot, honestly. But anyway, you do lose standing if you can't kill the target within the allotted time. I think they said it's gonna be like a couple days. So you can ask for help. You can have squads go with you. Be like, hey, this guy's kind of a badass. Can I get somebody in here? You can do that. Gonna be really awesome. Also, they kind of alluded to what the infested room is down in the back of our orbiters, which is something to do with VIP rescue and like repairing someone or something. I don't know what exactly that entails. Like, my first instinct in like the back of my head was, because obviously we just did that like Orden Karis, like the Beast of Bones stuff. That stuff, it immediately went into my head that's like, is Ordis still organic? And could we fix him? That's what my brain went to, but that's an assumption based on me. That's not true facts. I think that would be fucking cool, but it's not true facts, so we'll find out. We'll see what's going on with that. And then beyond that, we got to see more about treasures. They're called Ayatan sculptures. Ayatan. Don't know how that's supposed to be said. I don't think they said it. But these are going to be like they're going to be decorations once you complete them. They look like this. It looks pretty cool. I like how they look. I'm into it. I think I'm probably, depending on how much endo they're worth, I'm probably going to end up keeping like a bunch of different ones of these before I even start turning them into endo. But basically, these are fucking 3,000,000%. They're just the RE4 treasures, like 100%, like almost 1,000,000%. You can see at the top in the middle, it's filled in with the other pieces of the artifact, and the bottom one is empty. Basically, you can click on that and put it in, and then it increases the endo value of it. And the way that you're going to get these, well, multiple ways. Randomly in like crates and lockers and all that such thing, which might bring back a use for Master Thief, honestly. Might be a reasonable way to farm that. Look out for that thing. Also bringing Kubros maybe to help open lockers, things like that. Could see it. So that might be interesting. But basically, you're going to be able to turn these into Maru for Endo. They're going to be decorations in your ship once you complete them. Well, they can be. Obviously, you can turn those in Endo as well. And then at weekly, you're going to have a mission from Maru that is going to guarantee you one of these that you're going to have to do an Orokin Void like puzzle / speedrun room to get the prize. Which is really cool, reintroducing those rooms that I feel like basically never get seen, and making them have like an actual purpose is really awesome. The thing I'm curious to see is that if we go to the Void and find those rooms, if they're also going to have these sculptures and pieces in them like reliably, or if it's only going to be on that Maru quest, which would be kind of unfortunate. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that was gone over on the dev stream. There's a few mentions of like the new weapon type, but that's like mostly just like some idle animations that got shown. Kind of meh. Excited to see that weapon when it's actually done. But yeah, lots of really good stuff coming. Obviously, they're kind of just trying to button down and finish the War Within. Hopefully it's done this month. I'm really, really hoping it's done this month. But yeah, also, one last thing I wanted to talk about. They showed this, which on PC shows the mission types played between the 9th and the 12th of this month. This is incredibly interesting to me. So the shocking thing to me is that Exterminate is so much played, because that mission has, like, awful rewards. So I don't know what is causing that. Perhaps that is key farming or vault farming with dragon keys? I don't know. Honestly, if someone could explain to me why Exterminate is the most played there, I would absolutely fucking love to know. Defense makes sense because of a COD and some of the other defense farms like ODS. But yeah, that Exterminate makes no sense to me. Otherwise, we can see here a lot of why they aren't making like new raids and stuff, like obviously. Because if we zoom in here at this top portion, I know you can't see me now, but that's fine. If we zoom in at this top portion, you can see like the Arcwing stuff, which no shit, fucking nobody plays that because it's Arcwing. People generally don't really respond super well to Arcwing, which is not terribly surprising. Hive Sabotage, there's just not that many of those missions, which I think just kind of goes into that. Hijack, there's A, not that many, and B, no real incentive to play Hijack. Relays and tutorials are kind of irrelevant. PvP, yeah, nobody's playing PvP, as we all know. The arena, that's actually kind of surprising considering some things that are going on with that right now, but I'll have a video on that later next week, hopefully. And we can see here that, okay, so PvP is 1%. Trials, raids, are 1.29%. This is that return on investment thing, I think, that they're kind of talking about, is that trials just don't get played very much. Like, just not very much at all. Like, obviously, trials can't be played as much because, like, more players playing singular missions, so you would expect this to be lower, but probably not that low. I think if they were seeing, like, a good return on investment, we'd probably see a number, like, around, like, 3 or 4% for trials, but obviously, we're quite a huge margin off of that. As junctions, which players can literally only do once, like, that was played more. And I think that kind of says a lot about how valuable trials are to them and why we haven't seen more from them. But yeah, that's Devstream 80. This is a really interesting chart. I would love to hear your guys' comments on what you think is like causing like the disparity between these missions. I think a lot of these make a ton of sense. Mobile defense, captures, spies, assassinations, like quests obviously fucking make perfect sense where they are. But yeah, you know, would Exterminate be maybe caused by plant farming on Earth? I don't know. There's some stuff to be said there, I think. It's really interesting to me. But yeah, also, I know you guys have been waiting for it for a long time, but the free-to-play through is going to be starting up sometime next week as well. Obviously, trying to fill a lot of things I'm doing next week. So one of those things might get pushed back. I'm a little bit like DE like that. Sometimes things I'm doing need to be pushed back a little farther because I don't actually get to them because I have limited time. But the free-to-play through should be starting next week. So for anyone that is wondering why it didn't start, I was asking for approval from DE to do so because technically creating a new account is against the terms of service. So I just went through the appropriate channels to make sure that I'm not breaking any rules, because obviously I don't want to get banned. That would be very unfortunate. So yeah, that's going to be starting up. Obviously, part 2 of that matchmaking thing is going to be starting up. I think you guys really enjoyed that, so I will definitely be making more. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I've been talking long enough.